Introduction. Why English? Importance of English as a global language for communication, business, travel, and education. Overview of learning to speak English. Learning to talk in English involves a combination of mastering vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and cultural nuances. 1. Understanding the foundations of English. The importance of grammar. Grammar provides structure to the language. Without it, words have no meaning. Basic sentence structure, subject verb object, importance of tenses, articles, and prepositions, how grammar affects clarity in speech, building vocabulary, knowing words is essential to communicate effectively, tips to build a strong English vocabulary. Common words and phrases used in daily conversations, the importance of context when learning new words, pronunciation and phonetics. Pronouncing words correctly helps people understand you better. How to master English sounds and phonetics, exercises for improving pronunciation, minimal pairs, word stress, differences between British and American accents. 2. Key components of speaking English, fluency versus accuracy, understanding the balance between speaking smoothly and speaking correctly, the role of practice in fluency, why making mistakes is okay when you're starting, speaking in context, communication depends on understanding the situation, how to tailor your speech depending on the context, formal, informal, conversation starters for different scenarios, workplace, social settings, learning the art of small talk, cultural sensitivity in English, how to avoid miscommunication by understanding cultural differences, how politeness and indirect language are often used in English-speaking cultures, common phrases for agreeing, disagreeing, making requests, and offering help. 3. Methods to improve English speaking skills. Immersive learning. The most effective way to learn any language is through immersion, surrounding yourself with English through media, movies, TV shows, podcasts, the power of mimicry, imitating native speakers, conversational practice, engaging in real conversations to boost confidence, finding language partners or tutors for practice, using language exchange apps. Role of social media platforms in practicing language skills. Shadowing technique, listening to native speakers and repeating after them, how shadowing helps with pronunciation and fluency, the importance of intonation and rhythm in English speech. Using technology to learn English, leveraging apps, websites, and online tools to practice speaking, popular apps for learning English conversation, Duolingo, Babbel, speech recognition technology for improving pronunciation, Google Assistant, Siri, storytelling as a learning method, using personal experiences to communicate effectively. How storytelling can improve your ability to express complex ideas, exercises to build storytelling skills in English. 4. Overcoming common challenges, fear of making mistakes, how to overcome the fear of speaking in front of others, understanding that mistakes are part of the learning process, role of confidence in language learning. Dealing with anxiety, how to manage the nervousness that comes with speaking in English, relaxation techniques and breathing exercises, visualization and positive thinking to reduce anxiety, building confidence, why confidence is essential and how to build it gradually, celebrating small successes, setting realistic goals and tracking progress, pacing yourself. Learning to speak English takes time. And it's important not to rush. setting aside time every day for practice, avoiding burnout by keeping learning fun and engaging. 5. Formal versus informal English speaking, the difference between formal and informal English, how to recognize and switch between these two modes of communication. Formal English for professional settings, meetings, presentations, informal English for casual conversations, friends, social media, speaking English in the workplace, how to speak confidently and professionally at work, key phrases for meetings, interviews, and networking events, how to give presentations in English. Mastering everyday English, how to navigate casual conversations and slang, common idioms and phrases, regional differences in English slang, UK, USA, Australia. 6. Tools and resources for learning to speak English. Books and online resources, recommended books, websites, and tools for improving English speaking skills, popular language learning books, websites with free English resources, BBC Learning English, Cambridge English, podcasts and YouTube channels, using audio and video content to improve listening and speaking, best podcasts for learning conversational English, YouTube channels focused on English speaking lessons. Language learning communities, the importance of joining a community of learners, online forums and groups, Reddit, Facebook groups, how participating in language exchange programs helps. 7. Motivation and mindset, the power of a growth mindset. How maintaining a positive attitude accelerates learning, the concept of a growth mindset in language learning, learning from mistakes and constantly improving, staying motivated on your learning journey, overcoming plateaus and periods of slow progress, setting short-term and long-term goals, rewarding yourself for milestones achieved, fostering a love for the language, how to make learning English a lifelong passion. Finding joy in learning by focusing on what interests you. Hobbies, films, books, connecting with the global community through language. Conclusion, summing up, how to talk in English. Mastering English is a journey that involves practice, patience, and persistence. Final tips for success: stay consistent, practice with real conversations, and never stop learning. The future of English communication, how English is evolving in the digital age and what it means for learners. This detailed article offers a comprehensive guide to learning how to speak in English. It covers essential aspects like grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and fluency, as well as practical methods for improving speaking skills. It also addresses challenges learners may face, such as anxiety and fear of mistakes, and provides strategies for overcoming them. If you're looking to practice speaking in English, here are some practical tips to get you started and help you improve your conversation skills. 1. Start with simple conversations. Begin by talking about easy topics that you're comfortable with. Self-introduction. Talk about yourself, your name, where you're from, your hobbies, etc. Example: Hi, my name is, your name. I'm from, your country. I enjoy reading books and watching movies. Daily routine. Discuss your day or your plans. Example: Today, I woke up early, had breakfast, and went to work. After work, I plan to go for a walk. 2. Ask questions to engage others. Conversations are a two-way street. so practice asking questions to keep the discussion going. Simple questions. How are you? What do you do? Where do you live? Follow-up questions. If they mention a hobby, ask more about it. Example, you said you like traveling. Where was the last place you visited? 3. Practice pronunciation with short sentences, focus on speaking clearly. You don't have to speak fast to be fluent. Example, can you help me with this? Or I'd like a cup of coffee, please. 4. Use real-life scenarios. Imagine you're in everyday situations and practice how you would speak. At a restaurant, I would like to order a pizza, please. Shopping, how much does this cost? Or do you have this in another size? 5. Expand your vocabulary gradually, learn new words and phrases as you go along. Don't stress about knowing every word, use the words you know and build on them over time. 6. Shadow native speakers, listen to native speakers and try to imitate them. You can do this with movies, TV shows, podcasts, or even YouTube videos. Repeat what they say and try to copy their accent, intonation, and rhythm. Focus on natural phrases. Learning common phrases and how they're used in everyday English can make your speech sound more natural. Example phrases: how's it going? Long time no see. It's up to you. 8. Practice with a language partner. Find someone to practice speaking English with, whether it's a friend, tutor, or through language exchange platforms like HelloTalk or Tandem. 9. Think in English. Try to think in English during your day-to-day activities. This will help you get used to forming sentences naturally instead of translating from your native language. Speaking English fluently is a goal for many learners, and it involves more than just knowing grammar and vocabulary. Fluency is about speaking smoothly, confidently, and without pausing too much to think about what to say next. Here are some practical strategies to help you achieve fluency. 1. Think in English. Stop translating from your native language. One of the biggest challenges to fluency is the habit of translating sentences from your native language into English before speaking. This causes pauses and disrupts the flow of conversation. Practice thinking in English. Start with simple things, like thinking about what you're doing throughout the day in English. For example, if you're making breakfast, think, I'm going to cook eggs now. Eventually, this will help you form sentences more naturally. 2. Expand your vocabulary with common phrases. Learn phrases, not just words. Instead of memorizing individual words, learn entire phrases that are commonly used in conversation. For example, instead of learning the word happy, learn the phrase I'm so happy to hear that. Use collocations. These are words that naturally go together. Learning them helps you speak more fluently. For example, we say make a decision, not do a decision. 3. Practice speaking regularly. Consistency is key. To speak fluently, you need to practice speaking regularly. Even if you don't have a language partner, practice speaking out loud to yourself. Talk to yourself. Describe what you're doing, ask yourself questions, or narrate your actions in English. This will get you used to forming English sentences without hesitation. 4. Learn to use fillers. Use natural fillers. native speakers often use fillers like you know, or like when they need a second to think. Learning how to use fillers helps you sound more natural and gives you time to think without pausing awkwardly. Don't overuse them. Be careful not to rely on fillers too much, but use them sparingly when you need a moment to gather your thoughts. 5. Immerse yourself in English. Surround yourself with English. The more you listen to and engage with the language, the more natural it will feel. Listen to English podcasts, watch English movies or TV shows, and read in English. Mimic native speakers. Try to imitate how native speakers talk, their intonation, speed, and pronunciation. This can improve your fluency and make your speech sound more natural. 6. Practice shadowing technique. What is shadowing? Shadowing is a technique where you listen to a native speaker and try to repeat exactly what they say, imitating their pronunciation, rhythm, and speed. How it helps. This method helps improve fluency because it forces you to speak at a natural pace and reduces hesitation. Engage in conversations with native speakers, language exchange. Find someone to practice with, whether it's a tutor, a friend, or someone through a language exchange platform. The more you speak, the more confident and fluent you'll become. Real conversations. Focus on having real conversations instead of practicing scripted dialogues. Real-life interactions force you to think on your feet and use your language skills in practical settings. 8. Record yourself. Self-evaluation. Record yourself speaking about a topic, then listen to the recording. This helps you identify areas where you hesitate or struggle with certain sounds, and it shows you how you're progressing over time. Set goals. Aim to speak without pausing for a certain amount of time. For example, start with speaking for 30 seconds without stopping, then gradually increase the time. 9. Stop worrying about mistakes. Mistakes are normal. Fluency doesn't mean speaking perfectly. Native speakers make mistakes too. The key is to keep the conversation flowing. Even if you make an error, prioritize communication. Focus on getting your message across rather than worrying about minor grammar mistakes. Confidence plays a big role in fluency. 10. Use simple language at first. Don't overcomplicate your sentences. Start by using simple language and basic sentence structures that you're comfortable with. As you become more fluent, you can start experimenting with more complex expressions and vocabulary. Practice paraphrasing. If you don't know a specific word, describe it in another way. For example, if you forget the word restaurant, you can say, the place where you go to eat. 11. Improve listening skills. Listen to English regularly. The better you understand spoken English, the easier it will be to respond quickly. Podcasts, news, and conversations are great resources. Active listening. Don't just passively listen. Try to understand how sentences are structured, how words are linked, and how intonation changes. 12. Set realistic fluency goals. Track progress. Set small, achievable goals for your speaking fluency. For example, aim to have a 5-minute conversation with no hesitation or to talk about a familiar topic for 2 minutes non-stop. Celebrate small wins. Fluency doesn't happen overnight, so celebrate progress like being able to express yourself faster or understanding conversations more easily. Practical exercises to improve fluency. daily speaking practice. Spend 10 to 15 minutes each day talking about random topics in English. Pick any topic and speak about it continuously for a set amount of time without stopping. Role-play conversations. Create scenarios in your mind, ordering food, asking for directions, job interviews, and practice responding as you would in real life. Storytelling. Tell short stories about your day, your weekend, or something you're passionate about. It forces you to think in full sentences and helps with natural expression. Engage in debates or discussions. Find a debate topic or an interesting article and practice discussing it. Debating forces you to think quickly and use language fluidly to defend your points. Final thoughts on achieving fluency. Fluency takes time and practice, but the more you engage with the language, the more comfortable you'll become. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and focus on communicating clearly. Regular practice, confidence, and exposure to the language will help you speak English fluently over time. How to speak faster. Speaking faster in English without losing clarity is a skill that requires consistent practice. While it's important to increase your speaking speed, it's equally crucial to ensure that your speech remains understandable and smooth. Here are practical tips on how to speak faster in English while maintaining clarity. 1. Practice speaking daily. Consistency is key. The more you practice speaking, the more natural and quicker your speech will become. Set aside time each day to speak in English, whether it's having conversations with others or simply talking to yourself. Start slow, then gradually increase speed. When practicing, begin at a comfortable pace, then gradually speed up. For example, talk about your day slowly at first, then repeat the same sentences slightly faster each time. 2. Focus on fluency first, speed later. Fluency before speed. It's important to prioritize speaking fluently before trying to speak quickly. Make sure your sentences flow smoothly and naturally without too many pauses or hesitations. Once you're confident in your fluency, you can work on increasing speed. Speak in full sentences. Instead of focusing on speed alone, work on speaking in full, coherent sentences without breaking your thoughts. This will naturally make your speech faster and more fluid. 3. Use tongue twisters. Tongue twisters improve articulation and speed. Tongue twisters are a fun way to work on speaking faster because they train your mouth to move quickly and smoothly. Start with easier ones, then move on to more complex ones as your confidence grows. Example: she sells seashells by the seashore, or Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Gradually increase speed. Say the tongue twister slowly at first, then repeat it faster and faster. This helps train your mouth and tongue muscles to articulate words quickly and clearly. 4. Improve connected speech. Practice linking words. Native speakers often link words together in natural conversation. Practicing connected speech will help you speak faster because you won't have to stop between each word. For example, instead of saying I am going to, it's more common to say I'm gonna. Learn contractions. Using contractions like I'm, your, they will help you speak faster because they reduce the number of syllables you need to say. For example, I am becomes I'm, and they have becomes they've. Elision and reduction. In fast speech, certain sounds disappear, like saying gonna instead of going to or wanna instead of want to. This is a natural part of fast, conversational English. 5. Shadow native speakers, imitate native speakers, listen to native English speakers and try to repeat what they say immediately after, matching their speed, rhythm, and pronunciation. This is called the shadowing technique. How it helps. Shadowing helps you get used to speaking at the same speed as a native speaker, which will naturally make you faster over time. It also improves your pronunciation and rhythm, so you'll sound more natural. 6. Practice with short sentences. Shorten your thoughts. Instead of trying to speak long, complicated sentences, focus on speaking shorter sentences quickly and clearly. As you get more comfortable, you can combine sentences and increase your speaking speed. Example, say, I like coffee quickly and clearly. Once you can do that easily, expand to I like coffee, but I prefer tea in the morning. Work on reducing pauses and filler words. Reduce hesitations. To speak faster, you need to avoid hesitating too much while thinking of the right words or sentences. Practice speaking on topics you're familiar with to reduce pauses. Avoid overusing filler words. Filler words like and like slow you down. Practice speaking without relying on these fillers by planning what you want to say in advance. 8. Listen to fast speech. Listen to English podcasts, news, or TV shows. Listening to fast-paced English speakers helps your brain adapt to hearing and processing language quickly. Try to keep up with their pace mentally and speak along with them. Speed up audio. You can increase the playback speed of YouTube videos, podcasts, or other recordings to practice listening to fast speech. After listening, try to summarize or repeat what you heard at a similar speed. 9. Record yourself speaking. Self-assessment. Record yourself speaking on a topic and then listen to the playback. This allows you to hear where you tend to slow down or hesitate. Over time, you'll notice improvements in your speaking speed. Progressive speed. Start by recording yourself speaking slowly, then record the same topic at a faster pace each time. Compare the recordings and notice how your speed improves. 10. Practice speaking about familiar topics. Start with easy topics. When you speak about something you know well, you'll be more comfortable and naturally speak faster. Choose familiar topics like your daily routine, your hobbies, or your favorite foods to start practicing speed. Build confidence. The more confident you feel about a subject, the faster you can speak about it. Practice with simple, familiar topics before moving on to more complex ones. 11. Increase your vocabulary. Learn more common words and phrases. The more vocabulary you have, the easier it will be to speak quickly because you won't have to pause to think of the right word. Focus on learning words and expressions that are used in everyday conversation. Practice using synonyms. If you can't think of a word quickly, knowing synonyms will allow you to substitute another word and keep speaking without pausing. 12. Engage in real conversations. Practice with native speakers. Engaging in real conversations forces you to think and respond quickly, which naturally improves your speaking speed. Use language exchange platforms like Italki or HelloTalk to find conversation partners. Real-time practice. Speaking with someone in real time helps you adapt to conversational speed. You'll be able to keep up with fast-paced dialogue and respond more quickly as you practice more. 13. Use speech apps, speech recognition apps. Use apps like Elsa Speak or Google Assistant to practice speaking. These apps can give feedback on how quickly and clearly you're speaking. Challenge yourself. Set small goals in the app to speak faster and track your progress. 14. Avoid overthinking. Let go of perfection. Don't worry too much about being perfect in your pronunciation or grammar when speaking fast. The goal is to communicate effectively. Focus on the flow of your speech and don't stop mid-sentence to correct small mistakes. Trust yourself. As you practice speaking faster, trust that your knowledge of English will help guide you. The more confident you feel, the faster you'll speak. Final thoughts. Speaking faster in English is a gradual process. Focus on building confidence, fluency, and comfort with the language, and speed will follow naturally. Remember, while speed is important, clarity is even more essential. Speaking quickly but clearly ensures that others can still understand you. Keep practicing, listen to fast-paced speech, and push yourself to speak a little faster each day. Tips for daily practice. Daily practice is crucial to improving your English speaking skills, whether you want to enhance fluency, pronunciation, or overall confidence. By incorporating small, consistent exercises into your routine, you can make significant progress over time. Here are practical tips for daily English practice. 1. Set clear, achievable goals, short-term goals. Focus on small, specific goals for each practice session. For example, today I will learn and use 5 new vocabulary words in sentences, or I will practice my pronunciation for 10 minutes. Long-term goals. Set broader goals, such as I want to improve my speaking fluency in 3 months, or I will have daily conversations in English for 30 days. 2. Daily speaking practice. Speak out loud every day, even if you don't have someone to talk to. Practice speaking aloud to yourself. Choose any topic, like describing your day, your favorite movie, or a recent news story, and speak continuously for a few minutes. Narrate your actions. As you go through your day, narrate what you're doing in English. For example, while cooking, now I'm cutting vegetables. Next, I'll boil water. This helps you think in English and practice vocabulary relevant to daily life. 3. Use language learning apps, conversation-focused apps. Apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or Speaky allow you to find language partners and practice speaking with native or fluent English speakers. Pronunciation and fluency apps. Use apps like Elsa Speak, Duolingo, or Rosetta Stone to focus on pronunciation, vocabulary building, and speaking speed. These apps provide structured lessons for daily practice. 4. Record yourself speaking, evaluate your progress. Record yourself speaking about a topic for a few minutes each day. Listen to the recording to evaluate your fluency, pronunciation, and speed. Over time, you'll notice improvements. Weekly challenge. Choose a challenging topic each week and record yourself speaking about it. Compare the recordings from the start and end of the week to track your progress. 5. Engage in short conversations, language exchange. Spend at least 10 to 15 minutes each day talking with someone in English. You can find conversation partners through language exchange platforms or connect with friends who speak English, daily phone calls or chats. Make a habit of calling or messaging someone in English to practice. If that's not possible, use apps that simulate real conversations to practice listening and speaking. 6. Shadow native speakers. Shadowing technique. Listen to native speakers, via podcasts, TV shows, or YouTube, and immediately repeat what they say, trying to match their rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation. This technique improves speaking speed and naturalness. Daily audio challenge. Pick a short audio clip or video each day, listen to it, and then repeat what you heard as closely as possible. This helps you internalize natural speech patterns, focus on pronunciation, practice difficult sounds, identify any sounds that are difficult for you to pronounce, such as the th sound in think or the r sound in run, and focus on practicing them daily. Use online pronunciation guides. Websites like Forvo or apps like Elsa Speak can help you hear and practice correct pronunciation. Tongue twisters. Practice tongue twisters to improve clarity and speed. Start slow and gradually speed up as you become more comfortable. 8. Learn and use new vocabulary. Daily vocabulary building. Set a goal to learn 5 to 10 new words each day. Try to use those words in sentences, either in writing or speaking. Apps like Quizlet or Memrise can help you create vocabulary lists and review them daily. Create thematic lists. Focus on learning vocabulary related to specific topics, e.g., travel, work, food. This makes it easier to use them in real-life conversations. 9. Practice listening comprehension. Daily podcasts or videos. Listen to English podcasts, audiobooks, or watch YouTube videos on topics that interest you. This will improve your understanding of different accents, vocabulary, and expressions. Active listening. Instead of just passively listening, pause the audio after a few sentences and repeat what was said or summarize it in your own words. 10. Engage with English media. Watch movies or TV shows. Watch shows or movies in English with or without subtitles. After watching, try summarizing the plot or discussing what you liked, disliked to practice speaking. Read aloud, read articles, books, or news in English and practice reading aloud. This improves pronunciation and helps you become comfortable with sentence structures. 11. Keep a language journal. Write in English daily. Dedicate a few minutes each day to writing in English about your day, thoughts, or experiences. Then, read what you wrote out loud. This helps you practice sentence formation and speaking at the same time. Review and reflect. At the end of each week, review your entries and identify areas where you can improve, such as grammar, vocabulary, or fluency. 12. Use flashcards for common phrases. Flashcard apps. Use apps like Anki or Quizlet to create flashcards with common English phrases, idioms, and expressions. Review them daily to familiarize yourself with natural-sounding language. Practice with sentences. Instead of just memorizing single words, learn how they are used in context by practicing full sentences. 13. Join online English groups or forums, participate in discussions, join online communities like Reddit, Facebook groups, or forums where people discuss various topics in English. Participate by leaving comments or sharing your thoughts. Daily discussion practice. Make a habit of responding to posts or starting conversations on platforms like Quora or Reddit. Engaging with others in writing will build your confidence for speaking. 14. Use a timer for short speaking challenges. Timed speaking. Set a timer for 2 to 3 minutes and challenge yourself to speak on a specific topic without stopping. This will train your brain to think quickly and help you develop fluency. Increase the difficulty. As you improve, try longer timed speaking sessions, 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, or choose more complex topics to talk about. 15. Pair new words with actions. Total physical response, TPR. Pair learning new words with physical actions or gestures. For example, when learning action verbs like run, jump, or sit, actually do the actions while saying the words. This reinforces memory and improves speaking speed. Tips for staying motivated. Consistency over intensity. It's better to practice for 10 to 15 minutes every day than to study for hours once a week. Small, daily improvements add up over time. Track your progress. Keep a journal or use an app to track your speaking practice and improvements. Celebrate small victories, such as learning a new phrase or speaking without hesitation for 3 minutes. Mix fun with learning. Choose topics and activities you enjoy. If you love cooking, talk about recipes in English. If you enjoy movies, discuss your favorite scenes. Reward yourself. Give yourself rewards when you reach your goals, like treating yourself to something special after completing a 30-day speaking challenge. By consistently practicing for just a few minutes each day, you'll gradually become more confident and fluent in English. It's not about perfection, but rather the habit of continuous improvement. Learning how to speak English can seem daunting, especially if it's not your first language. However, with the right approach and consistent practice, mastering English is definitely achievable. As someone who has gone through the journey, let me guide you through the process. This isn't a quick-fix solution, but rather a step-by-step method that will help you speak English confidently over time. Why learn English? Before diving into the techniques, let's first understand why learning English is so important. English is the most widely spoken language in the world, not just by native speakers but also by people who speak it as a second or third language. It's often the common language in business, travel, science, technology, and entertainment. Learning English opens doors to numerous opportunities for education, career, and cultural experiences. Understanding and speaking English allows you to communicate with people from different parts of the world, making it a vital skill in today's globalized world. 1. Build a strong foundation in vocabulary. The first step in learning any language is to build a solid vocabulary. Vocabulary is like the bricks in a building, and grammar is the structure that holds them together. Without enough vocabulary, it's hard to express even simple ideas. Start with basic, everyday words and phrases. These include greetings, introductions, numbers, days of the week, and other common phrases. As you become more comfortable, gradually expand your vocabulary to include more complex words. One helpful method is to use flashcards or apps like Anki or Quizlet to practice new words. Additionally, reading books, watching TV shows, or listening to music in English can help you learn new words in context. Don't just memorize words, try to use them in sentences. This helps your brain store them in long-term memory. 2. Practice pronunciation early. Good pronunciation is crucial in speaking English because even if you know the words, if you can't pronounce them correctly, it might be difficult for others to understand you. English has many sounds that might not exist in your native language, so it's important to familiarize yourself with them early on. One way to improve pronunciation is by listening to native speakers, paying attention to how they form sounds and where they place emphasis in sentences. You can use apps like YouTube, podcasts, or language exchange platforms to expose yourself to natural English speaking patterns. Try repeating after native speakers to mimic their accent, tone, and rhythm. Another great resource is the International Phonetic Alphabet, IPA, which can help you understand how words should be pronounced. Many dictionaries provide IPA transcription of words, which can serve as a guide to correct pronunciation. 3. Understand basic grammar. While vocabulary is essential, learning basic English grammar is equally important. Grammar is the set of rules that govern how we structure sentences. It helps in creating clarity in communication. You don't have to learn complex grammar rules right away, but it's important to grasp the basics. Start with sentence structure, like how to form simple sentences, subject, verb, object. For example, I eat an apple is a simple sentence structure. Learn about the different parts of speech, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Begin by forming simple sentences, and then move on to compound and complex sentences. Over time, you'll need to get comfortable with tenses. English has 12 different tenses, but start with the most commonly used ones. Present simple, I walk, past simple, I walked, and future simple, I will walk. Understanding these basics will allow you to communicate effectively. 4. Practice speaking daily. It's essential to practice speaking every day if you want to become fluent in English. The more you practice, the more comfortable and confident you will become. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are part of the learning process. You'll improve as you identify and correct your errors. One excellent way to practice is by finding a language partner. There are many online platforms, such as HelloTalk, Tandem, or Conversation Exchange forums, where you can find native English speakers or other learners to practice with. If you can't find a partner, try speaking to yourself. Describe what you're doing, think aloud in English, or narrate your day as though you're explaining it to someone else. Another powerful technique is shadowing, where you listen to someone speaking English and try to repeat exactly what they're saying immediately after they say it. This improves your fluency and trains your brain to think in English. 5. Immerse yourself in the language. Immersion is one of the most effective ways to learn a language. You don't necessarily have to live in an English-speaking country to immerse yourself in English. You can create an English environment wherever you are, Start by surrounding yourself with English media, watch English movies or TV shows, listen to English podcasts, or read English newspapers and books. The goal is to expose yourself to how English is used naturally. When watching movies or TV shows, use subtitles in the beginning if needed. Try to pay attention to how people use language in different situations. For example, how do they greet each other? How do they ask questions or express opinions? Additionally, try to switch the language on your phone, computer, or social media to English. This forces you to think in English as you navigate through your daily digital life. 6. Join English-speaking communities. Practicing English in real-life situations is crucial for gaining fluency. If possible, join local English-speaking groups, attend English meetups, or participate in conversation clubs. These groups offer a supportive environment where you can practice speaking without fear of judgment. Many cities have language exchange meetups, where native English speakers meet to practice foreign languages and vice versa. These gatherings are not only helpful for language learning but also a great way to make friends and learn about different cultures. If you're unable to find such groups locally, consider joining online communities, such as language learning forums or social media groups dedicated to English learners. 7. Focus on listening skills. Listening is a key part of becoming fluent in English. The more you listen, the more familiar you'll become with different accents, speech speeds, and ways of expressing ideas. You can improve your listening skills by watching English news channels, TED Talks, or listening to audiobooks and podcasts. Start with slower-paced content, like podcasts aimed at English learners, and gradually move to faster-paced material, such as TV shows or live discussions. If you find it difficult to understand at first, don't worry. It takes time for your brain to adapt to the sounds of a new language. One effective listening exercise is to listen to the same audio multiple times. Each time, you'll pick up more details and improve your comprehension. This helps you get used to the rhythm of English and prepares you for real-life conversations. 8. Develop a study routine. Consistency is key when learning to speak English. Create a study routine that works for you, and stick to it. You don't need to spend hours every day, but try to dedicate at least 30 minutes to an hour each day to practicing English. Break your study time into smaller, manageable tasks like vocabulary building, grammar exercises, reading, listening, and speaking. Use a notebook or language learning app to track your progress. Set short-term and long-term goals. For example, you might aim to learn 10 new words a day or have a 15-minute conversation in English by the end of the week. Setting goals will keep you motivated and help you measure your improvement over time. 9. Be patient and stay motivated. Finally, remember that learning to speak English fluently takes time. It's important to be patient and not get discouraged by mistakes or slow progress. Celebrate small wins along the way, such as successfully completing a conversation in English or learning a new phrase. Stay motivated by reminding yourself why you're learning English. Whether it's for career advancement, travel, or personal satisfaction, keep your goal in mind. Surround yourself with positive influences, whether that's friends who support your learning, mentors, or success stories of other learners who've mastered English. Conclusion: learning how to speak English is a gradual process that requires dedication, practice, and patience. By building a solid foundation of vocabulary, improving your pronunciation, understanding basic grammar, and immersing yourself in the language, you will steadily improve. Remember to practice speaking daily, engage with English-speaking communities, and stay motivated throughout your journey. With time and effort, you'll be able to speak English confidently and effectively. The time it takes to achieve fluency in English varies widely depending on several factors, including your current level of English, the amount of time and effort you dedicate, your native language, and your exposure to English in daily life. On average, here are some key factors that influence how long it might take to become fluent in English. 1. Current language level, beginner. If you're starting from scratch, fluency may take longer, typically between 1.5 to 2 years of consistent effort. Intermediate. If you already have some basic knowledge, it may take 6 months to 1 year to reach a high conversational level with daily practice. Advanced. If you're at an advanced level, refining your skills to full fluency could take 3 to 6 months with focused practice. 2. Consistency and practice. The more time you spend practicing, the faster you will improve. For example, 1 to 2 hours per day of active studying practice, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, might help you achieve fluency within 1 to 2 years. Immersive learning, where you are exposed to English all day, living in an English-speaking country or working in an English-speaking environment, can cut down this time significantly. 3. Learning environment, immersion. If you immerse yourself in English by living in an English-speaking country or frequently interacting with native speakers, you may reach fluency faster, often in 6 months to 1 year. Non-immersive learning. If you are learning in your home country with limited real-life English interactions, fluency might take longer, between 1.5 to 3 years, depending on your efforts. 4. Your native language. If your native language is linguistically similar to English, such as Dutch or German, you may learn English more quickly. For speakers of languages that are more structurally different from English, like Chinese, Arabic, or Japanese, fluency might take longer, as mastering grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary will be more challenging. 5. Learning techniques. Using a variety of techniques, like language apps, speaking with native speakers, reading books, watching English media, and practicing speaking daily, can speed up your learning. Consistent use of active learning methods, like speaking and writing, accelerates fluency compared to passive learning, like just reading or watching. 6. Motivation and goals. Learners who have a clear purpose or strong motivation, e.g., career advancement, education, or relocation, tend to learn faster because they remain more dedicated and consistent. 7. Time dedication. Full-time dedication. Studying English several hours a day and immersing yourself in English may result in fluency in 6 months to 1 year. Part-time learners, an hour or 2 per day, might take longer, typically around 1.5 to 2 years or more. General estimates for fluency, basic fluency, achievable within 6 months to 1 year of consistent study and practice, 1 to 2 hours per day, for someone with an intermediate level background, conversational fluency, can be reached in 1 to 2 years for beginners with regular practice. Especially if you're actively speaking with native speakers, full professional fluency may take 2 to 3 years. Depending on your learning intensity and exposure, especially if you aim to master more complex aspects like idiomatic expressions and business English, the key to achieving fluency is regular, meaningful practice and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, especially when it comes to speaking and interacting in English. Here are some effective tips for daily English practice that will help you improve your speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills consistently. 1. Set specific goals. Start small. Set daily or weekly goals, such as learning 10 new words, having a 15-minute conversation, or completing a grammar exercise. Be consistent. Make language practice part of your daily routine, even if it's just 30 minutes a day. Small, consistent practice is more effective than cramming. 2. Practice speaking daily. Talk to yourself. Narrate your daily activities in English. For example, while cooking or commuting, describe what you're doing or thinking. Language partners. Use language exchange apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or Speaky to practice speaking with native or fluent speakers. You can also join online conversation groups, shadowing, listen to native speakers, in podcasts, movies, or videos, and try to mimic their pronunciation and intonation by repeating their sentences aloud. This helps improve fluency and pronunciation. Record yourself, speak on a topic, record yourself, and then listen to the recording. Analyze your speech for pronunciation, grammar, and clarity. 3. Listen to English content, podcasts and audiobooks. Listen to English podcasts or audiobooks while commuting, exercising, or doing household chores. Start with simple language learning podcasts like The English We Speak and gradually move to native level ones like TED Talks or news programs. Watch TV shows, movies. Watch movies or series with English subtitles to improve both listening and reading comprehension. Afterward, watch the same content without subtitles to test your understanding. Music. Listen to English music and try to understand the lyrics. Singing along can improve your pronunciation and vocabulary. 4. Expand your vocabulary. Use flashcards. Apps like Anki or Quizlet allow you to create digital flashcards to memorize new words. Review them daily and practice using the words in sentences. Learn in context. Rather than memorizing individual words, learn them in sentences. For example, learn phrases or collocations like take a break or make a decision to understand how words are used together. Word of the day. Subscribe to a Word of the Day service from dictionaries like Merriam-Webster or Cambridge and try to use that word in conversations or writing. 5. Immerse yourself in English. Change your devices to English. Set the language on your phone, computer, and social media accounts to English. This forces you to navigate and interact in English daily. Read news and articles. Read short news articles, blog posts, or social media feeds in English. Start with simpler sources like BBC Learning English or graded readers. And then move to more advanced sources like The Guardian or The New York Times. Join English communities. Join online forums or social media groups where English is the main language, e.g., Reddit, Quora, or Facebook groups, and participate in discussions. 6. Focus on grammar, daily grammar exercise. Dedicate 10 to 15 minutes daily to doing a grammar exercise. Websites like English Page or apps like Grammarly offer practice questions for different grammar topics. Learn from mistakes. Keep a notebook where you write down common grammar mistakes you make and work on fixing them. Practice writing. Write short essays, journal entries, or social media posts in English. Pay attention to grammar and sentence structure. You can use online tools like Grammarly to check and correct your writing. 7. Read something every day, books and articles. Read English books or articles that match your level. Gradually challenge yourself with more complex texts, short stories. If long texts are too challenging, start with short stories. Websites like Project Gutenberg or Oxford Bookworms offer simplified English literature. News apps. Install news apps like BBC News, Reuters, or Al Jazeera and read short articles or headlines to stay updated and improve vocabulary. 8. Keep a journal in English, daily writing practice. Write a few sentences about your day, thoughts, or plans in English. This improves your writing skills and helps organize your thoughts in English. Creative writing. Try writing stories, dialogues, or even poetry in English. This can be fun and encourages creativity while developing your language skills. 9. Use English in real-life situations, shopping, travel. Practice speaking English in real-life situations. For example, when traveling or shopping online, use English websites. Try ordering food, booking tickets, or navigating customer service pages in English. Speak with English-speaking colleagues. If you have English-speaking colleagues, try to communicate with them in English regularly. 10. Stay organized. Create a study plan. Break down your language learning goals into weekly and monthly tasks. For example, focus on vocabulary one day, grammar the next, and speaking practice another day. Track progress. Use a notebook or app to track what you've learned, the new words you've mastered, or mistakes you've fixed. This will motivate you and help you stay consistent. 11. Join English courses or classes, online courses. Enroll in online English courses like those offered by Coursera, Udemy, or BBC Learning English. These platforms have structured lessons that help with different aspects of language learning. Language schools or tutors. If possible, take lessons with a professional English tutor either in person or online. Websites like Italki or Preply connect learners with native English-speaking tutors. 12. Use English learning apps. Duolingo, fun and game-like. It's useful for practicing vocabulary in basic sentences. Memrise offers real-life videos of native speakers, helping you improve listening and speaking skills. Babel focuses on conversational English with real-life dialogues. Busuu combines lessons with opportunities to interact with native speakers. 13. Review and reflect regularly. Reflect on progress. Set aside time each week to reflect on what you've learned, what you're struggling with, and where you need to improve. Revise regularly. Regularly review vocabulary and grammar concepts you've previously learned to keep them fresh in your mind. 14. Stay motivated. Celebrate small wins. Reward yourself when you reach a milestone. such as completing a conversation in English or learning a certain number of new words. Stay positive. Learning a language can be challenging, but don't get discouraged by mistakes. They are part of the learning process. Stay engaged. Mix up your study routine with fun activities like watching English movies, playing language games, or reading comics in English to stay interested. By integrating these tips into your daily routine, you'll steadily improve your English language skills and develop the confidence to speak, read, write, and understand English fluently over time. Introduction: Why improving your English accent matters. Accent is not just about how you sound, it is a bridge to better communication. An English accent can affect how clearly you are understood by others, how confident you feel when speaking, and how well you can connect with native speakers. For many non-native English speakers, accent improvement is about reducing misunderstandings and speaking more fluently. It's about refining pronunciation so that your words resonate clearly and naturally with those around you. However, improving your English accent does not mean losing your unique identity or eliminating your native accent. It's more about fine-tuning your pronunciation, stress, and intonation to fit the pattern of the specific English accent you want to adopt. This can increase your chances of success in personal, academic, and professional settings. Types of English accents. English, being a global language, has a rich tapestry of accents depending on the region or country. The most common English accents learners aim to master are General American, GA, the most widely spoken and understood accent in the United States. It is often used in media, politics, and public speaking. British Received Pronunciation, RP, often considered the standard British accent. RP is prestigious, especially in formal and educational settings in the UK. Australian English, recognizable for its unique vowel pronunciations and rising intonation. Australian English is spoken across Australia and can sometimes be challenging for non-native speakers. Your choice of accent will depend on your personal goals, professional needs, and the communities you engage with. Setting realistic goals. Improving your accent is a long-term process. Expecting instant changes or perfect pronunciation can lead to frustration. Your goal should be to make steady, noticeable improvements over time. Breaking down your learning into manageable steps, focusing on one sound, word, or intonation pattern at a time, can lead to gradual but effective improvement. Here are some realistic goals you can set. Improve the clarity of your speech by mastering the pronunciation of 10 common problematic sounds in English, e.g., th, r, and certain vowels. Practice correct intonation and stress for common sentences. Improving conversational fluency. Record yourself daily and analyze the difference in pronunciation after 3 months. Understanding the mechanics of accents, phonetics, and phonology. Accents are all about the sound system of a language, known as phonetics, and the pattern of sounds, or phonology. Every language has its own set of phonetic rules that dictate how words are pronounced, where the stress falls in a sentence, and how intonation rises or falls. In English, mastering the basics of phonetics is key to improving your accent. You don't need to become a linguistic expert, but understanding the role of vowels, consonants, and syllable stress in shaping how words sound is fundamental. vowel and consonant differences. Vowels in English can vary dramatically between accents. Take, for example, the difference between an American pronunciation of cat, short, sharp, and a British RP pronunciation, a more open. Consonants can vary too. For instance, the R sound is pronounced strongly in American English but is often softer or omitted in British RP, especially at the end of words, e.g., car versus CAH. Stress, rhythm, and intonation. English is a stress-timed language, meaning that some syllables are stressed more than others. Knowing where to place the stress is key to sounding natural. For example, in the word photograph, the stress is on the first syllable, while in photographic, the stress shifts to the third syllable. In addition to stress, intonation, the rise and fall of your voice, plays a huge role in shaping how your accent sounds. A rising intonation is often used in questions, while falling intonation is used in statements. Mastering these patterns will help you sound more native. Choosing your target accent. Understanding the major English accents. There are several global English accents, and each offers unique pronunciation patterns. Whether you want to adopt an American, British, or Australian accent, the key is to choose one and focus on mastering its characteristics. American English, General American. The standard American accent is characterized by rhotic pronunciation, pronouncing the R sound in all positions, and vowel shifts, like the in cat, being more open. It's a clear and widely understood accent. British English, RP and others, received pronunciation, RP, is often seen as the standard British accent. It features non-rhotic pronunciation. The R is not pronounced unless followed by a vowel, and unique vowel shifts like the long sound in bath. Australian English. This accent is known for its distinctive vowel sounds, such as a more open in words like day, and its use of a rising intonation even in statements, giving it a sing-song quality. How to pick an accent that suits you. Choosing the right accent for you depends on several factors. Geographical influence. If you're moving to the US, an American accent might be more practical. If you plan to work in the UK, a British accent might be ideal. Cultural preferences. Some people are more drawn to specific cultures and find the accent appealing due to their interest in the media, literature, or traditions of that country. Ease of learning. Depending on your native language, certain accents might be easier to adopt. For example, if your language has strong R sounds, the American accent might feel more natural. Phonetic breakdown. Mastering sounds, vowels. Vowel pronunciation is one of the most noticeable differences between accents. Here's how you can practice. Monophthongs. These are single, stable vowel sounds, like the I in bit or the in cat. In different accents, these vowels can be pronounced with a variety of tongue and mouth positions. Practice different vowel placements with audio guides or vowel charts. Diphthongs. These are vowels that start in one position and glide into another, like the AI in buy or the oi in boy. Diphthongs vary widely between accents, so focusing on accent-specific pronunciation is essential. For example, in British English, Go has a more rounded sound compared to American English. Consonants, th sounds, theta, the English th sound can be tough for non-native speakers. To produce it, the tongue should touch the teeth lightly. Many accents replace this with a, t, or d sound, common in non-native accents, so focus on ensuring your th is correctly articulated, are sounds, in American English. The r sound is pronounced strongly no matter where it appears in a word. In British RP, the r is typically silent unless it's followed by a vowel. Understanding this distinction can help you sound more authentic in your chosen accent. Diphthongs. Diphthongs require careful listening and practice. To pronounce them correctly, you need to be aware of how your mouth shifts from one vowel sound to another. For example, in Australian English, the word go might sound like guy-o, reflecting a wider range of diphthong movement. Nasals and liquids, sounds like m, n, ing are produced with the airflow through the nose, while l, r involve a liquid-like flow of air. These sounds are important in accent work because some accents overemphasize or soften them. For instance, some American accents have a more prominent L sound, while some British accents soften it. Common sound shifts between accents. Certain sound shifts are common between English accents. The T sound can be pronounced sharply, British, or as a soft flap, American. The short in dance is pronounced as a long vowel in British RP but short in American English. By identifying these common shifts, you can practice transforming words from one accent into another. The time it takes to improve your English accent depends on several factors, including your current language skills, the specific accent you're aiming for, the amount of practice you put in, and your natural ability to pick up new sounds. However, with consistent effort, you can expect noticeable improvement within 3 to 6 months. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Factors that influence the time to improve your accent. 1. Your starting point, beginner. If you're just starting to learn English or have a strong accent influenced by your native language, it might take longer to make significant changes, usually 6 months to a year of focused practice. Intermediate. If you're already fluent in English but have a noticeable accent, you might start seeing changes within 3 to 6 months of regular practice. Advanced. If you're already familiar with the nuances of the accent you want to adopt, you may improve in just a few months by fine-tuning your pronunciation. 2. Your native language. Some sounds in English might not exist in your native language, making them more difficult to pronounce. For example, native languages with fewer vowel sounds, e.g., Japanese, Spanish, may make English vowel sounds harder to master, which can lengthen the process. Languages with different stress or intonation patterns, like Mandarin, may require more time to adjust to the stress-timed nature of English. 3. Frequency and quality of practice. Consistent, daily practice. Practicing for 15 to 30 minutes a day with focused exercises, like pronunciation drills, listening and repeating native speech, or using accent training apps, can speed up progress. Inconsistent practice. If you only practice occasionally, progress may be slower and harder to maintain. 4. Accent complexity. Some English accents are more complex and require more time to master due to their nuances in vowel shifts, consonant pronunciation, or rhythm. For instance, mastering a British RP accent might require more effort than a general American accent due to its subtle vowel distinctions and non-rhotic features. 5. Professional help versus self-study. With a coach or teacher, working with a speech coach or accent reduction specialist can cut down on the time needed to improve. Coaches can provide immediate feedback and customized exercises, speeding up the process. Self-study, using apps, YouTube tutorials, or practicing on your own can still lead to success but might take longer without professional guidance. 6. Motivation and persistence. A strong motivation to improve your accent, for career reasons, personal goals, or social acceptance, will help you stay focused and persistent. The more motivated you are, the faster you will likely improve. Timeline expectations based on commitment. Short term, 1 to 3 months, you'll become more aware of specific sounds, improve individual vowel and consonant pronunciations, and develop some familiarity with stress and intonation patterns. For instance, you might start pronouncing tricky sounds like th correctly or reduce the influence of your native accent on certain words. Medium term, 3 to 6 months. You'll start noticing a more natural rhythm in your speech, improved intonation, and better consistency across a wider range of sounds. Conversations will flow more smoothly, and others may start noticing the change in your accent. Long term, 6 to 12 months or more, you'll have greater mastery of the accent, with smoother transitions between sounds and more natural stress and intonation patterns. Your accent will likely be more subtle and not interfere with your communication, though it may not be completely indistinguishable from a native speaker's. Tips for accelerating your progress: immerse yourself in the accent, listen to native speakers as much as possible, watch TV shows, movies, podcasts, and music in the accent you want to adopt. Use accent-specific apps. Apps like Elsa Speak or Italki can give you feedback and help you practice specific sounds. Speech shadowing, mimic native speakers in real time by repeating what they say as soon as they say it. This improves pronunciation and rhythm. Record yourself. Frequently record your speech and compare it to native speakers. Identifying areas for improvement. Seek feedback. Ask native speakers or a coach to give you constructive feedback. In summary, with consistent effort, most people can see noticeable improvements in their English accent within 3 to 6 months. However, for more advanced and complete mastery, especially for complex accents, it may take 6 months to a year or more. The key is regular, focused practice combined with listening and mimicking native speakers. Sounding natural in English is not just about pronouncing individual words correctly, it's about capturing the rhythm, stress, and flow of the language. Native speakers often use contractions, linking, intonation patterns, and stress certain syllables or words to create a smooth, natural sound. Here's a guide to help you sound more natural when speaking English. 1. Master rhythm and intonation. English is a stress-timed language. In English, some syllables are stressed while others are unstressed, which creates a unique rhythm. The length of time between stressed syllables tends to be roughly the same, even if the number of unstressed syllables varies. To sound more natural, practice word stress. Make sure you emphasize the correct syllables in words. For example, photo versus photograph versus photographic. Incorrect stress can make you sound unnatural. Practice sentence stress. In a sentence, not all words are equally important. Content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, are usually stressed, while function words, prepositions, articles, auxiliary verbs, are usually unstressed. For example, in "she's going to the store," going and store are stressed. Intonation, rise and fall of the voice. Natural English has varying pitch patterns, and learning when your voice should rise or fall is key to sounding natural. Rising intonation. Questions often have a rising pitch, especially yes, no questions, e.g., "Are you coming?" Falling intonation. Statements or WH questions often end with a falling pitch, e.g., "What are you doing?" Tip: listen to native speakers and imitate their intonation. Record yourself and compare the pitch movements to theirs. 2. Use contractions and reduced forms. Native speakers often shorten phrases by using contractions or reduced forms of words. Contractions. These are used frequently in everyday conversation. For example, I am becomes I'm, they have becomes they've, he will becomes he'll. Reduced forms. Many words get squished in natural speech. Some common examples include, want to becomes wanna, going to becomes gonna, got to becomes gotta. Practice using contractions and reduced forms to match how native speakers communicate in casual settings. 3. Linking sounds together. In natural English, words often connect or link together, especially in fast speech. Mastering this will help you sound more fluent and less robotic. Consonant to vowel linking. When a word ends in a consonant sound and the next word starts with a vowel sound, the two words connect. For example, take it sounds like take-ite, pick up sounds like pickup. Vowel to vowel linking. When one word ends in a vowel sound and the next starts with a vowel, native speakers often add a slight glide, like a W or Y sound, to link them smoothly. I am sounds like I am, go out sounds like go W out, dropping or weakening sounds. In fast speech, some sounds may be dropped or become less pronounced. Give me becomes gimme, what do you becomes wadaya. 4. Practice. Fluency. Speak in phrases, not individual words. Native speakers don't pronounce each word individually. Instead, they speak in chunks or thought groups. To sound natural, group words into phrases. Instead of pausing between every word, pause between thought groups or phrases. For example, unnatural. I am going to store. Natural. I'm going to the store. Tip: practice reading sentences aloud in one smooth phrase rather than word by word. This will help you develop fluency and a more natural flow. 5. Avoid overpronouncing every word. While it's important to speak clearly, overpronunciation can make your speech sound stiff and unnatural. Native speakers tend to relax certain sounds, particularly in casual conversations. For example, can you help me? Might sound like can you help me? I'm going to the store could sound like I'm going to the store. Focus on reducing some of the less important syllables and using contractions to keep a natural pace. 6. Learn and use common idioms and expressions. Native speakers use idioms, slang, and expressions that are often difficult for non-native speakers. Learning some of these can help you sound more natural in conversations. Examples of idioms: piece of cake, something easy, break the ice, start a conversation. Examples of casual expressions: instead of how are you, you might say what's up, or how's it going. Using idiomatic language appropriately will make you sound more fluent and comfortable in informal settings. 7. Work on pronunciation of common sounds. Certain sounds are crucial to sounding natural in English. Here are some key ones to practice. TH sound, theta. Many non-native speakers replace the TH sound with an S or D, but this sound is important in English. Practice words like think and this with the correct tongue placement. Flap, T sound, in American English. The T between two vowels often sounds like a quick D. For example, water sounds like water, better sounds like better. Vowel sounds. English has many vowel sounds that vary across accents. Focus on mastering the common vowel sounds in your target accent. For example, the sound in cat versus car differs between American and British accents. 8. Engage in conversations with native speakers. The best way to sound natural is by interacting with native speakers. You'll not only improve your pronunciation but also learn how to respond naturally in different contexts. Language exchange platforms. Apps like Tandem or HelloTalk allow you to practice speaking with native speakers, voice and video calls. When speaking with others, pay attention to how they form sentences, their intonation, and how they link words together. Imitate them as closely as possible. 9. Record yourself and get feedback. Recording your voice can be incredibly helpful for noticing areas where you might sound unnatural. Compare with native speakers. Listen to recordings of native speakers, then record yourself saying the same sentences. Compare the pronunciation, rhythm, and flow. Get feedback. Ask native speakers or language tutors to give you feedback on your accent, pronunciation, and overall fluency. Apps like Elsa Speak can also provide detailed feedback on your pronunciation. 10. Embrace confidence and relaxation. Lastly, to sound natural, you need to speak with confidence. If you're overly focused on getting every sound perfect, you might come across as stiff or hesitant. Relax, and don't be afraid of making small mistakes. Fluency often involves being able to express yourself freely rather than perfectly. Relax your body and face. Tension can affect how you sound. Loosen your jaw and face muscles to allow for smoother, more natural speech. Confidence in communication. Sounding natural is more about comfort than perfection. When you're comfortable speaking, you'll sound more like a native speaker naturally. By focusing on the rhythm of English, using contractions, linking words, and practicing regularly with native speakers, you'll gradually start sounding more natural. Consistency and immersion are key, and over time, you'll gain the ability to speak fluently and effortlessly. Here are some key tips to improve your accent in English, regardless of whether you're aiming for a specific accent like American, British, or Australian. 1. Choose your target accent. The first step in accent training is deciding which accent you want to adopt. English has many accents, including American, British, RP, Australian, Irish, Canadian, and South African. Each has its unique sounds, intonation, and rhythm. Once you've chosen your target accent, you can focus on the specific sounds and features of that accent. Tip: pick one accent and stick to it consistently, as mixing accents can lead to confusion and make your speech sound less natural. 2. Listen actively. Immerse yourself in the accent by listening to native speakers as much as possible. Watching TV shows, movies, and listening to podcasts in your target accent will help you pick up the natural rhythm and intonation. Tips: American accent. Watch shows like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, or The Office. British RP accent. Watch BBC News, The Crown, or Downton Abbey. Australian accent. Watch Home and Away or Neighbours. 3. Mimic and imitate. Speech shadowing is a powerful technique for improving your accent. Listen to a sentence spoken in your target accent, then immediately repeat it, trying to mimic the rhythm, pitch, and pronunciation as closely as possible. Tips: use short clips or audio recordings to focus on a few sentences at a time. Pay attention to where native speakers place stress and how they link words together. 4. Master the sounds of your target accent. Different accents have distinct vowel and consonant sounds. Here are some key features of common English accents. American accent. Pronounce the R sound strongly in all positions. Rhotic accent. For example, in words like car and water, you should pronounce the R. Use the flat sound in words like cat and map. The T between vowels often becomes a D sound, so butter sounds like buttier. British RP accent. The R sound is often silent when it appears at the end of a word, non-rhotic. For example, car is pronounced like CAH. Short sounds, as in bath or dance, are pronounced with a long sound, bath or dance. Vowel sounds are often more rounded, and you'll hear clear distinctions between long and short vowels. Australian accent. Vowel sounds are often broader, especially diphthongs. For example, go might sound more like guy-o. The R is generally silent unless followed by a vowel. Tip: focus on the specific sounds that are different from your native language, and practice them in isolation before integrating them into full sentences. 5. Practice vowel and consonant sounds. Each accent has distinct vowel and consonant pronunciations. Focus on perfecting these. TH sound. Non-native speakers often struggle with the TH sounds, theta, as in think, and as in this. Make sure your tongue touches the tip of your upper teeth when making these sounds. Don't replace TH with S or D. Vowel length. English has many long and short vowel sounds. Practice distinguishing between them, such as in ship versus sheep or bit versus beat. Schwa sound. The schwa is the most common sound in English. It's an unstressed, neutral sound often found in words like sofa or in the second syllable of teacher. Learning to use the schwa naturally will make your speech sound more fluent. 6. Focus on intonation and stress. Every language has a unique melody or intonation pattern, and this is true for English accents as well. Pay attention to where native speakers raise and lower their pitch. In English, statements often end with a falling intonation. I'm going to the store. Yes, no questions usually end with a rising intonation. Are you coming? Additionally, English is a stress-timed language, meaning that certain syllables in a sentence are stressed while others are unstressed. Learning how to stress the right syllables and words will make your speech sound more natural. Tip: practice stressing content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and lightly touching function words, articles, prepositions, etc. 7. Use contractions and linking. Native speakers frequently use contractions and link words together, which makes their speech sound faster and more fluid. Contractions. Use contractions like I'm for I am or she'll for she will. Linking words. Words often flow together in natural speech. For example, can I becomes can I and do becomes dia. Tip: practice reading aloud using contractions and linked words. Try to minimize pauses between words to create smoother sentences. 8. Record yourself. Recording yourself speaking in your target accent is one of the best ways to track your progress. Listen back to identify where you might be mispronouncing sounds, where your rhythm is off, or where your intonation doesn't match native speakers. Tip: compare your recordings to those of native speakers. Try imitating the rhythm, stress, and intonation patterns as closely as possible. 9. Use accent training apps. Several apps and online resources can provide structured practice to improve your accent. Elsa Speak helps with pronunciation and gives real-time feedback on specific sounds. Forvo provides native speaker pronunciations of words and phrases. Italki connects you with native speakers for accent practice in real conversations. Tip: dedicate at least 15 to 30 minutes a day to using these tools for consistent improvement. 10. Get feedback from native speakers. Engaging in real conversations with native speakers is one of the most effective ways to refine your accent. Native speakers can give you immediate feedback on your pronunciation and suggest ways to sound more natural. Tip: use platforms like HelloTalk or Tandem to connect with native speakers, or consider taking lessons from a native English tutor. 11. Practice daily and be patient. Improving your accent takes time, consistency, and patience. Daily practice, even if it's just for 15 to 20 minutes, will bring gradual improvements. Don't get discouraged if progress seems slow. It's normal for accent development to take months or even a year or more, depending on your starting point and the complexity of the accent. Additional accent tips for specific English accents. American accent tips. Master the flap T. In American English, the T sound between vowels often turns into a soft D sound. For example, water sounds like water. Pronounce the R sound. American English is rhotic, meaning the R sound is pronounced clearly in all positions, like in words such as car or bird, open vowels. American English often uses a broader range of open vowels, so focus on opening your mouth wider, especially for vowels like, in words like cat or hat. British RP, accent tips, silent R. In received pronunciation, RP, the R at the end of words is silent unless followed by a vowel. For example, car becomes CAH. T sound, unlike American English, the T is pronounced crisply in British accents. Better is pronounced with a clear T, like better. Round your vowels. British RP tends to have rounded vowels. Especially in words like thought or caught, which are pronounced with a rounded sound. Australian accent tips, diphthongs. Australian English has some unique diphthongs, vowel combinations. For example, mate might sound like might and no might sound like now. Non-rhotic, like British RP, Australian English is non-rhotic, meaning the R is often silent unless followed by a vowel. Vowel reduction. Australians often reduce vowels in unstressed syllables, making words like today sound more like today. By focusing on these accent-specific techniques and following the tips above, you'll be able to improve your English accent and sound more natural and confident in your chosen accent. Practicing your English accent daily is key to seeing significant improvement. Consistency is more important than long practice sessions, so aim for 15 to 30 minutes a day to build strong habits. Here's a step-by-step guide on how you can structure your daily practice to effectively improve your accent. 1. Set clear goals. Start by defining specific goals for your accent practice. These might include mastering difficult sounds, e.g., the TH sound or American R, improving intonation and stress patterns. Reducing your native accent's influence, perfecting vowel and consonant sounds for your target accent, e.g., British RP, American, Australian. Each practice session can focus on one or two of these goals. 2. Warm up your mouth and voice. Before diving into accent-specific practice, warm up your mouth and voice. This helps with articulation and fluency. You can stretch your lips by smiling wide and then relaxing. Loosen your tongue with quick, light movements. Move it side to side, or flick it against the roof of your mouth. Hum softly to warm up your vocal cords, ensuring your voice is relaxed and ready for speaking. Time: 2 to 3 minutes. 3. Practice target sounds. Focus on one or two challenging sounds in your target accent each day. For example, American accent. Practice rhotic R sounds in words like car, bird, teacher, or the flap T in words like water, butter. British RP accent. Focus on pronouncing the T sound clearly in better, or mastering the long sound in bath, dance. Australian accent. Practice diphthongs in words like mate, go, or reducing vowels in words like today. Listen to native speakers. Use resources like YouTube, Forvo, or accent training apps to hear native speakers pronounce words with your target sounds. Mimic the sounds. Repeat the sounds several times, focusing on getting your mouth, tongue, and lips in the correct position. Record yourself to ensure accuracy. Word practice. incorporate these sounds into words, paying attention to how they blend with other sounds. Time, 5 to 10 minutes. For sentence and phrase drills, move on to practicing sentences and phrases that feature your target sounds or mimic the natural rhythm and intonation of your chosen accent. Use speech shadowing. Listen to native speakers and repeat exactly what they say, mimicking their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. Choose short clips from movies, interviews, or news segments. Focus on linking. Practice linking words naturally. For example, say "Can I help you?" as "Can I help ya?" Use sentence stress. Emphasize content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and de-emphasize function words, prepositions, articles. Tip: try using apps like Elsa Speak or Youglish to practice common phrases in your target accent and get feedback. Time, 5 to 10 minutes. 5. Reading aloud. Read aloud every day using materials that match your level and accent goals, textbooks or articles. Choose a text with vocabulary at your level and read it aloud, focusing on the rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation of each word. Dialogues or scripts. If you want to work on conversational English, read dialogues from movie scripts, plays, or TV shows. This can help you practice the natural flow of sentences and casual conversation. Children's books. If you're just starting, children's books can provide clear, simple sentences to help with basic pronunciation. Tip: record yourself while reading aloud, and compare it to native speaker recordings, e.g., audiobooks, YouTube videos. Focus on matching their flow, stress, and intonation. Time, 5 to 10 minutes. 6. Engage in conversations. Speaking with native speakers or language partners is one of the best ways to improve your accent. Use platforms like Tandem or HelloTalk. These apps connect you with native speakers for language exchange and provide daily conversation practice. Italki offers one-on-one lessons with native speakers who can give you specific feedback on your accent. Practice tip: during conversations, focus on using contractions and connected speech, e.g., "I'm gonna" instead of "I am going to." Applying what you've practiced in terms of intonation, rhythm, and stress. Asking for feedback on your accent and identifying areas for improvement. Time, 10 to 15 minutes, if possible. Daily. 7. Use accent training apps. There are several apps designed specifically to help you improve your accent. Elsa Speak gives you feedback on your pronunciation, helping you master tricky sounds and phrases. Forvo lets you hear native speakers pronounce individual words, which you can imitate and practice. Speechling allows you to record your voice and get feedback from coaches on your pronunciation. Tip: use these apps for 5 to 10 minutes daily to reinforce your accent training with immediate feedback. 8. Imitate native speakers. Pick a native speaker whose accent you admire and imitate them. You can choose a famous actor, news anchor, or YouTuber, depending on the accent you want to adopt. Watch videos of them speaking and try to copy their tone, pitch, and rhythm. Speech shadowing. Repeat what they say as soon as they say it. Phrase mimicking. Copy not just their words, but how they say them. Pay attention to their stress patterns, intonation, and how they link words. Time, 5 to 10 minutes. 9. Record yourself regularly. Recording your progress is essential for self-assessment. Choose a passage or a set of phrases that you will record regularly. Record yourself speaking in your target accent. Compare the recordings over time to notice improvements or areas that still need work. Tip: use these recordings to evaluate how natural your speech sounds. Share them with a native speaker or coach for feedback. Time: 3 to 5 minutes. 10. Review and correct. At the end of each practice session, listen to your recordings and identify areas that need improvement, e.g., a specific vowel sound or intonation pattern. Write down 2 to 3 things you will work on the next day. This ensures that you focus on continuous improvement. Time: 3 to 5 minutes. Example: daily practice routine, 30 minutes. Warm-up, 2 minutes of mouth and voice exercises. Target sounds practice, 8 minutes focusing on specific difficult sounds, e.g., the th sound, R sound, or vowel shifts. Sentence drills, 8 minutes of shadowing native speakers and practicing common sentences and phrases. Reading aloud, 5 minutes reading a text or dialogue aloud, focusing on accent features. Conversation practice, 5 to 10 minutes speaking with a language partner or using an accent app to practice in context. Review, 2 minutes listening to your recordings and setting goals for the next day. Additional tips for daily practice: use downtime. Practice during your commute, while cooking, or in the shower by listening to native speakers or repeating sentences. Mix it up. Vary your practice materials, podcasts, YouTube videos, apps, books, to keep things interesting and expose yourself to different contexts. Track progress. Keep a journal of what you practiced each day and note any improvements or challenges. This helps you stay motivated and focused on continuous improvement. By incorporating these daily practices into your routine, you'll steadily improve your accent and sound more natural when speaking English. A day in the life of Emma. Hello, and welcome to today's English learning video. We will be telling an expanded version of a day in the life of Emma. As you listen, try to follow along with the story, learn new words, and repeat sentences when asked. This will help you practice English and improve your listening skills. Let's begin the story. Emma is 25 years old, and she lives in a small but comfortable apartment in a quiet town. Every morning, she starts her day by waking up early. The sun rises through the curtains, casting a soft light into her room. Today, the alarm rings at exactly 7 o'clock. Emma opens her eyes, stretches her arms above her head, and takes a deep breath. The weather outside looks sunny and calm. It seems like a good day ahead. Emma slowly gets out of bed and walks to the bathroom. She brushes her teeth, making sure to brush for 2 minutes. Brushing your teeth for 2 minutes is important to keep them clean and healthy. After brushing her teeth, she washes her face with cold water. The cold water feels refreshing and helps her wake up. She feels more alert and ready for the day. Let's pause for a moment. I want you to repeat some sentences after me. Emma wakes up early. She brushes her teeth for 2 minutes. Cold water helps her wake up. Great. Let's continue the story. After washing her face, Emma combs her hair. She has brown hair, and she likes to keep it neat. She combs it gently, making sure it looks smooth and tidy. Once her hair is ready, Emma walks to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. Breakfast is her favorite meal of the day because it gives her energy for the rest of the day. Today, she decides to have a healthy breakfast. She takes 2 slices of bread and puts them in the toaster. While the bread is toasting, Emma takes out a pan and cooks 2 eggs. She likes her eggs sunny side up, with the yolk in the center. The eggs sizzle in the pan as they cook, and the smell of the eggs fills the kitchen. Emma also pours herself a glass of orange juice. Orange juice is full of vitamins, especially vitamin C, which is good for her health. Soon, her breakfast is ready. Emma sits at the table and enjoys her meal. The toast is crispy, and the eggs are perfectly cooked. She eats slowly, enjoying every bite. After breakfast, Emma drinks a cup of coffee. She likes her coffee with a little milk and no sugar. Now, let's practice again. Repeat after me. Emma eats toast and eggs for breakfast. She drinks orange juice. She likes her coffee with milk and no sugar. Good. You're doing great. Now, let's continue with Emma's day. It's now 8 o'clock, and Emma has to get ready for work. She is a teacher at a local school. She teaches young children, and she loves her job because every day is different and exciting. Emma walks to her bedroom to choose her clothes for the day. She opens her closet and looks at her options. She decides to wear a white shirt with blue jeans today. It is a simple, comfortable outfit, perfect for teaching. After getting dressed, Emma puts on her shoes. Today, she wears her favorite black shoes, which are comfortable for walking. Emma always walks to the bus stop, so comfortable shoes are important. Before leaving, she checks her bag to make sure she has everything she needs for the day. She puts in her lesson plans, a notebook, some pens, and her lunch, which she prepared the night before. Emma likes to stay organized, so she always makes sure her bag is ready. At 8:15, Emma leaves her apartment and starts walking to the bus stop. The bus stop is just a few minutes away from her home. As she walks, Emma notices how beautiful the morning is. The sky is clear, and the air feels fresh. She hears the birds singing in the trees. The town is still quiet because it's early, and most people are just starting their day. Let's pause again. Repeat these sentences after me. Emma teaches young children. She wears a white shirt and blue jeans. Emma walks to the bus stop. Good job. Let's continue. When Emma arrives at the bus stop, she sees a few other people waiting. There is an elderly woman with a small dog, a man in a suit who looks like he's going to work, and a young mother with her child in a stroller. Emma smiles at them, but she doesn't know their names. She sees them every morning because they all take the same bus. The bus arrives right on time at 8:20. Emma gets on the bus and says good morning to the bus driver. The bus driver is friendly and smiles back at her. Emma finds a seat by the window and sits down. She likes to sit by the window so she can watch the city as the bus moves. The bus ride takes about 20 minutes, so Emma often uses this time to think about her day or plan her lessons. As the bus drives through the town, Emma sees the same familiar places: a small park where people like to walk their dogs, a bakery with fresh bread in the window, and a bookstore that has been in the town for many years. The bus passes by the main street with all the shops, and Emma notices a new cafe has opened. She thinks about trying it one day when she has some free time to practice again. Repeat after me. Emma takes the bus every day. She likes to sit by the window. The bus passes by the park. Bakery and bookstore. Excellent. Let's keep going with the story. After 20 minutes, Emma arrives at the school. She gets off the bus and walks into the school building. The school is big, with many classrooms and a large playground where the children play during breaks. Emma teaches in one of the classrooms on the first floor. She walks into her classroom and sees her students already waiting for her. "Good morning, Miss Emma," the children say together when they see her. Emma smiles and says, "Good morning, everyone." There are 15 students in Emma's class, and they are all between 7 and 8 years old. Emma loves teaching children because they are always curious and excited to learn. Today, Emma starts the day with an English lesson. She writes some new words on the board: apple, banana, orange, and grape. These are words for fruits, and Emma's students are learning how to say and write them. She points to each word and says it out loud. The students repeat after her: apple, banana, orange, grape. Emma makes sure that each student says the words correctly. Then, she asks the class, "What is your favorite fruit?" One student raises her hand and says, "My favorite fruit is an apple." Another student says, "I like oranges." Emma is happy to see her students participating in the lesson. After the English lesson, it is time for math. Today, Emma is teaching her students how to add and subtract numbers. She writes a simple math problem on the board: 2 equals. She asks the class, who knows the answer. Many students raise their hands. Emma points to one student, who answers, 4. Emma smiles and says, "That's correct. Let's take a break to practice what we just learned." Repeat after me. Emma teaches English and math. The students learn new words. They practice adding numbers. Fantastic. Let's continue with more of Emma's day. After the math lesson, it's time for a short break. The children go outside to play on the playground. Some children run around, playing tag, while others swing on the swings. Emma watches from the window, making sure everyone is safe. She remembers when she was a child, and she used to play games during school breaks too. Watching the children play brings back happy memories. At 12 o'clock, it's lunchtime. Emma goes to the teacher's room, where she eats her lunch. Today, she brought a sandwich, an apple, and a bottle of water. As she eats, Emma talks to her friend Sarah, who is also a teacher at the school. Sarah teaches science and history. How is your day going? Sarah asks, "It's going well, Emma replies. The students are learning a lot today. Sarah smiles and says, That's great. I'm teaching about animals today, and the kids are really excited. Emma and Sarah talk for a few more minutes, and then it's time to go back to class, time to practice again. Repeat after me. The children play outside during the break. Emma eats a sandwich for lunch. Sarah teaches science and history. You're doing great. Let's keep going. In the afternoon, Emma has an art lesson with her students. Art is one of the students' favorite subjects because they get to be creative. Today, they are going to draw pictures of animals. Emma gives each student a piece of paper and some crayons. She asks them to draw their favorite animals. The children are excited and start drawing right away. Some students draw lions, tigers, and elephants. Others draw dogs, cats, and birds. One student even draws a dolphin swimming in the ocean. As Emma walks around the room, she looks at each drawing and says, Good job. Or that looks great. After art class. It's almost time for the school day to end. Emma asks the students to clean up their desks and put away the crayons. The students work together to make the classroom tidy again. At 3 o'clock, the school bell rings. The students say, Goodbye, Miss Emma, and run outside to meet their parents. Emma waves goodbye to them and smiles. She feels proud of her students for working hard and learning new things. Let's practice a bit more. Repeat after me. The students draw pictures of animals. Emma says, Good job. The school day ends at 3 o'clock. Great work. Now, let's see what happens after school. After all the students have left, Emma stays at school for a little while longer. She cleans the classroom and organizes her desk. Then, she prepares her lessons for the next day. Tomorrow, she will teach a new English lesson and continue with math problems. Emma likes to stay organized, so she always plans ahead. By 4 o'clock, Emma is ready to leave the school. She walks to the bus stop and waits for the bus. The sun is starting to set, and the sky is turning orange and pink. Emma enjoys the peacefulness of the evening. When the bus arrives, she gets on and sits by the window again. As the bus moves through the town, Emma thinks about her day. It was a busy day, but it was also a good day. She feels happy knowing that her students are learning and growing. She also looks forward to having some time to relax when she gets home. Let's pause one more time to practice. Repeat after me. Emma cleans the classroom after school. She prepares her lessons for the next day. Emma takes the bus home in the evening. Well done. Let's finish the story. When Emma gets home, she takes off her shoes and sits on the sofa. She feels tired after a long day, but she is also proud of the work she did. Emma takes a few minutes to relax. She turns on the television and watches a little bit of her favorite show. After resting, Emma goes to the kitchen to make dinner. Tonight, she is cooking pasta with tomato sauce. It's one of her favorite meals because it's simple and delicious. She boils the pasta in a pot of water and heats the tomato sauce in a pan. After a few minutes, dinner is ready. Emma eats her meal and enjoys the quiet time. Once dinner is finished, Emma washes the dishes and cleans the kitchen. She likes to keep her home neat and tidy. After cleaning, Emma sits down with a book. She enjoys reading before bed because it helps her relax. Tonight, she is reading a book about travel. The book describes different places around the world, and Emma dreams of visiting some of these places one day. At 9 o'clock, it's time for bed. Emma brushes her teeth, washes her face, and changes into her pajamas. She gets into bed and thinks about her day. It was a busy but rewarding day. She feels thankful for her students, her friends, and the work she gets to do every day. Soon, she closes her eyes and falls asleep, ready to wake up and start another day tomorrow. Thank you for listening to Emma's busy day. Now, let's review some of the new words and sentences we learned today. Repeat after me: breakfast, bus stop, teacher, classroom, students, lesson, playground, dinner, sleep, excellent. Keep practicing, and your English will improve every day. The alarm rings at 7 o'clock. Emma opens her eyes, stretches her arms, and yawns. She feels well rested and ready to start her day. Emma, to herself, smiling, "Good morning, Emma. Let's make this a productive day." Emma gets out of bed and heads to the bathroom. She looks in the mirror, brushes her teeth, and washes her face with cold water. After she's finished, she grabs a brush and starts combing her hair. Her long brown hair is neat and smooth, just the way she likes it. Next, Emma walks into the kitchen to make breakfast. Today, she feels like having a simple meal: toast with eggs and a glass of orange juice. She takes 2 slices of bread and puts them in the toaster. While the bread is toasting, she cracks 2 eggs into a pan. Emma, to herself, humming, "These eggs look perfect today. Breakfast is the best part of my morning." The eggs sizzle in the pan, and the kitchen fills with the delicious smell of cooking food. Once everything is ready, Emma sits at the table and enjoys her breakfast slowly. She takes her time, knowing it will give her the energy she needs for the busy day ahead. After finishing her meal, she pours herself a cup of coffee. Emma prefers her coffee with a little milk and no sugar, just the way she likes it. Emma, to herself, sipping coffee, that's good. Now, time to get ready for work. Getting ready for work. It's now 8 o'clock, and Emma needs to get ready for her job as a teacher at the local school. She walks back to her bedroom to choose her outfit for the day. Emma enjoys wearing comfortable yet stylish clothes, especially when she's teaching. She opens her closet and pulls out a white blouse and a pair of blue jeans. She also chooses her favorite black shoes because they're comfortable for walking. Once dressed, Emma checks her bag to make sure she has everything she needs for the day: lesson plans, notebooks, pens, and her lunch, which she packed the night before. She is very organized and likes to make sure she's prepared. At 8:15, Emma leaves her apartment and walks to the bus stop. On her way, she passes a small bakery where the smell of fresh bread drifts through the air. Emma thinks about stopping for a pastry one morning, but today she has no time. She arrives at the bus stop, where a few other people are waiting. Emma sees an elderly woman sitting on a bench, and next to her is a young man wearing a suit, looking at his phone. Emma smiles at them politely. Emma, to the elderly woman, "Good morning. The weather is nice today, isn't it?" Elderly woman, "Oh yes, dear. It's much warmer than yesterday. Perfect for a walk later." Emma, "Absolutely. Have a lovely day." Emma stands by the bus stop, and soon the bus arrives. She gets on and greets the bus driver with a smile. Emma, to the bus driver, "Good morning, bus driver." "Good morning, miss. Off to work?" Emma, "Yes, another day of teaching. Hope your day goes well." Emma takes a seat by the window, her favorite spot. As the bus moves through the streets of the town, Emma looks outside and watches the buildings and trees pass by. She enjoys the peaceful moments on the bus, which give her time to think and relax before the school day begins. Arriving at school, after a 20-minute ride, Emma arrives at her school. She gets off the bus and walks toward the entrance, where she sees some of her students already playing in the schoolyard. They wave excitedly when they see her. Students, cheerfully. "Good morning, Miss Emma." Emma, smiling, waving back, "Good morning, everyone. I'll see you in class soon." Emma walks into the school building and heads to her classroom. She loves the energy of the school in the morning, the sound of children talking, laughing, and preparing for the day. Inside her classroom, she takes a moment to organize her desk and prepare for the first lesson. At 9 o'clock sharp, her students file into the classroom and take their seats. Emma greets them warmly. Emma, to the class, "Good morning, class. How is everyone today?" Students, in unison, "Good morning, Miss Emma." "We're ready." Emma, laughing, "That's great to hear. Let's start with our English lesson today." English class. Today's English lesson is about learning new vocabulary related to fruits. Emma writes 4 words on the board: apple, banana, orange, and grape. She points to each word and says it out loud, encouraging the students to repeat after her. Emma, pointing to the board, "Everyone, repeat after me. Apple." Students, together, apple. Emma, banana. Students, banana. Emma, orange. Students, orange. Emma, and grape. Students, grape. Once the students have practiced saying the words, Emma holds up pictures of the fruits and asks them to name each one. Emma, holding up a picture of an apple, "What is this?" Student 1, raising her hand, "It's an apple, Miss Emma." Emma, nodding, "That's correct. Very good. And what about this one?" She holds up a picture of a banana. Student 2, enthusiastically, "A banana." Emma, "Yes, excellent. You're all doing a great job." After practicing the words, Emma asks the students a fun question. Emma, "Now, who can tell me what your favorite fruit is?" "Let's start with you, Sarah." Sarah, smiling shyly, My favorite fruit is an orange. Emma, very nice, Sarah. What about you, Tom? Tom, excited, I love bananas. Emma, laughing, bananas are great. Who else? Several more students eagerly raise their hands to share their favorite fruits. And Emma listens to each of them with interest. Math class, after the English lesson, it's time for math. Today, the class is learning about basic addition and subtraction. Emma writes some problems on the board, starting with a simple one, 2 equals. Emma, pointing to the problem, who can tell me the answer to this problem? Student 3, raising his hand excitedly, it's 4, Miss Emma. Emma, smiling, that's right. Good job. Now, what about this one? She writes 5 to 3 equals. On the board, student 4, thinking for a moment, is it 2? Emma, yes, very good. You're all doing so well today. The students continue solving problems, and Emma walks around the classroom, offering help and encouragement to those who need it. Lunch break and chatting with colleagues. At noon, the bell rings, signaling the start of lunchtime. The students leave the classroom to eat their lunches in the cafeteria, and Emma heads to the teacher's room, where she meets her colleague Sarah. Sarah, smiling as Emma enters the room, hey, Emma. How's your day going so far? Emma, sitting down and unpacking her lunch, it's going great. The kids are really getting the hang of their new vocabulary words. Sarah, that's awesome. I've got a science experiment with my class this afternoon. They're so excited. Emma, that sounds fun. What are you doing? Sarah, enthusiastically, we're learning about how plants grow, so we're planting seeds. The kids are going to water them and watch them grow over the next few weeks. Emma, nodding, that sounds like a fantastic lesson. I'm sure they'll love it. The two teachers enjoy their lunch together, chatting about their students, their lessons, and their weekend plans. After finishing her sandwich and apple, Emma checks the time. Emma, well, I'd better get back. I've got an art lesson with my class next. We will continue the story of a day in the life of Emma in next video. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you learned something new today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell notification so that you never miss on new updates. Have a nice day.